Sponsored by EA. Hey everyone, it's AlluringSimmer here, and if you're new here, then welcome to Planet Allura, and if you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are making Nabu, Aisha's fiance, from the Winx Club. Before we get into today's video, I just want to share that I am part of the EA Creator Program, and you can use my code AlluringSimmer when purchasing Sims 4 DLC, or visit my website at AlluringSimmer.com/creator to see other eligible EA titles that you can use my code AlluringSimmer for when making purchases on the EA app. If you've used my code before, I appreciate you so much for the support as it helps me out as a content creator. Some other ways you can support me are by subscribing to the Tulip tier on my Patreon or subscribing to my Twitch channel. But the best way to support me is simply by watching my videos all the way through, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, if you didn't already know, I have a Sims challenge that you all can participate in. Whether you like create a sim or building, there's something for you. I currently have the hashtag Alluring Fairy Shell, where you can download my shell on the gallery ID AlluringSimmer, and make any fairy themed build following the rules in the description. Or you can use the hashtag AlluringFairyCast and upload a fairy sim you've created. I may choose your sim to add to the world during my Winx Let's Play or your build, so consider to enter if you want to see your sim or your build in my game. This is also the final week to enter, so don't forget to get your submissions in ASAP. Now let's get into today's video. So today we are making Nabu, Aisha's fiance, from the Winx Club, and I'll start off by giving a little bit of background about his personality, and then we'll get into the relationship side of things. So Nabu is a very social, outgoing, and friendly person. He's very upbeat and fun, and he really enjoys life. Something else about him is that he is a kind man. He's also very patient when it comes to his friends and his relationships. And when it came to Aisha and his other partners, he's not someone who gets easily jealous. It's also said that he is the mediator for conflict whenever his friends would have issues with their partners, for example. He was the person that kind of helped them get through it. And as I said before, he's very outgoing. He loves to be around others. In terms of his status, he is technically not a specialist, but kind of a specialist adjacent. He was not one of the main members of the specialists to begin with, but he later kind of joined the group and worked with the other boyfriends to solve, whatever things that they needed to do. He's also a wizard. He uses a magic staff to perform his magic. He uses magic mainly for flight, invisibility, duplication, teleportation, and energy blast. His magic color is purple. He's able to disappear, as I said before, create clones, solidify materials from plans, and create defensive shields. Outside of magic, he also is good with self-defense, so that's something that he's able to do, without magic. And I definitely want to reflect that in his traits, so I'll probably give him a high fitness skill. I might give him the active trait at some point, but I do want to showcase that throughout, the Let's Play. In terms of his name Nabu derives from the Babylonian god of wisdom and writing, and he is associated with the planet Mercury. And now we can kind of get into his relationship with Aisha to kind of give an overview of who he is as a person. So Nabu actually had an incident that happens in season 4. I won't give a spoiler, but essentially at that point him and Aisha were no longer together, and I think she eventually gets engaged to another guy later on. However, for the purpose of our Let's Play, she's going to be with Nabu. They're going to be engaged, and I'm gonna kind of just not totally align with the original storyline for this case, because I don't want to just recreate the show. I'm just kind of using it as a frame of reference for the personality and the traits of these Sims. And in terms of how Nabu and Aisha got together, they were actually arranged to be married. And what had happened was Nabu was a little bit, I guess, concerned and was not really sure about the arranged marriage. He actually ran away from home and tried to find Aisha so he could see what she was like. And when they first got together, there was a bit of conflict and arguments. They did not really get along, and Aisha didn't really approve of him and wasn't interested in getting together. But after some time that they had spent together, she eventually realized that she was interested in him, and they led to getting engaged. However, I think slightly before the time that they got engaged, he was actually engaged to another woman. I think her name is Helicia, and while engaged to her, he was still dating Aisha. Aisha. And I feel like it might have been something to do with the fact that he was in an arranged marriage and was like, I want to be able to choose the person that I'm with. As I said before in like previous parts, I haven't watched all of the Winx episodes, so I don't know all the details, but my assumption is he was like, I want to pick who I'm with. I don't want to be having someone else choose who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. And that's probably why he was like, let me see how it works out with this other woman. But eventually that fizzled out. He got engaged to Aisha and then they were together forever until the incident. And I decide like the likes and dislikes, turn-ons, turn-offs, and like things that he likes about other Sims, I'm going to be keeping in mind like what I chose for Aisha as well, so that way they will be like compatible, because I do want it to make sense in gameplay and have the Sims be attracted to their partners. And something that I'll have for sure is the fact that his love language is words of affirmation, so I'm definitely going to reflect that with his like romance style, and I also want to just reflect that in the way that I play the game. And then when it comes to their outfits, I would say like some of the outfits really reflect what they wore on the show, while I'll say that some of the outfits I just kind of made up based off of their like style, or some of the looks that I may have seen them in, I would just apply it for a different outfit. For example, I would say his everyday wear and his formal wear were the ones that I tried to keep more accurate, and the rest of the outfits were just like things that I thought looked good or like matched his style. I do want to also mention that I'm not like great at making masculine framed or male Sims, so I really tried my best to make them look good. But if you have any tips or tricks that I can keep in mind for the future boyfriends that I create, then let me know in the comments down below what advice you have, or maybe like custom content or recommendations that I could use to make my male Sims look good. I do want to say though, despite the fact that I don't usually make male Sims, I do like how he turned out. I feel like I really tried hard to like make his face kind of reflect, you know, what he looks like in the show. I think it was really hard because he has a very like chiseled face, and I don't really know how to do that in The Sims. I might have to download like a skin overlay that gives him like defined cheekbones and such, because I feel like his face still looks round, even though I really tried hard to make it look like chiseled like it does in the show. I also have to keep in mind that it is a cartoon, and obviously the way that they draw like the animation for the show is not necessarily going to be reflected in the way that I make the Sim, but I did try my best. I'm definitely looking forward to making the rest of the Winx boyfriends and partners for this like mini series, and I feel like once all the guys are done, I think that'll be it for like the creative Sim aspect of this Winx Let's Play. And I do feel like that sometime during that time the Winx Let's Play will have already started, and there may still be some creative Sims that will be going out. I will say that if you have a suggestion for which boyfriend you'd like to see me make next, then leave a comment down below. You can either leave a comment of their name, or you can leave a comment of their partner. So you can tell me like the Winx fairy like that you want me to create the boyfriend of for the next video. And then also let me know what your favorite outfit is that I made for Nabu. And then the last thing I want you to let me know in the comments down below, if you get a chance, is should I give them like made up last names, or should I use something like related to like their personality or something to give them last names? Because I don't think they have last names in the show, so I've just been putting like Winx for everyone, but I feel like that will definitely get complicated once we're actually in game if like everyone's last name is Winx. So if you have a suggestion for a last name for him, then also leave that in the comments down below. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, comment down below all the things that I asked about earlier, and also stay tuned until the end so you can see screenshots of Nabu and Aisha together. I can't wait to complete the rest of this series, and I appreciate you so much for watching. Bye everyone!